Welcome back to Control. I think it's episode 27. We're now accessing Dr. Darling's lab, which is a little bit of a disappointment. Dr. Darling is supposed to be the head honcho. He's like the big scientist on the block. But this is his lab. One room off the side of an industrial area. Really? Okay.
The frequencies match. Other dimensions leak in. We call these areas thresholds.
More plot stuff.
The core is one of the more stable
We just got the next upgrade for the key, which is going to be important. And that will allow us to get to the actual Blackrock area proper. Now, I'd like to tell you, oh, this room is so interesting. Look at how cool it is. It's not. It's really quite boring. I don't like it. It's not good enough for Dr. Darling. Still, if you want to give me a lab like that, let me know. Grab some loot, and then I guess we're gonna continue down. Alright, so we're moving towards Blackrock Processing, and we've got to use this elevator to get a little closer. Let's give it a shot.
Everything here is crazy. Weird, but it feels right.
So this is
how the world should be.
This is an emerging plot point where she feels at home in this strange land.
Dimensions, and I never want to leave.
It's a little bit forced because she's happy to talk about it, but she never actually shows it. It's
feels sane.
It's not it's an informed attribute is what I'm saying. Which means that they wanted to come up with something that set her apart and made her a person instead of just a random character that we were inhabiting. But if she's not actually going to do it and she's just going to say it, I mean, it's not really enough for me. Here we are in one of the Blackrock processing rooms, and we have this huge cylinder. If you remember, back when we were doing the reactor, there was a cylinder like this in one of the two offset rooms. I think it was a control room of some kind. But that one was much smaller. This one is much larger. It's unusual, but we're coming at it from above. Normally speaking, you don't come at this sort of thing from above, because it makes it look small. In this case, I think they think that it looks big. I don't know. I don't really buy it as supposed to. It doesn't really make me go, ooh, ah. It just doesn't feel as big as it could for some reason. And I think that's mostly because we're above it and we're at a strange angle to it. I don't think it looks bad by any means. It just doesn't have the same impact that you might get from something like the reactor, where it was really carefully built up. Here you can see that we can exit back out into another area and save our game right here. We got a lot of abilities we can use. The shield is not my favorite. I personally don't have much use for it, but I do have one important use for it, and that is that it allows us to fire the shield at enemies, which makes it an effective element. So we're just going to go ahead and boost up that particular part of our shield. And now when we do our shields, we're going to be able to hurl them at bad guys and kill them. We're going to go ahead and reduce our launch energy cost twice because I use launch a lot and they stack. What? Did I just... Oh, okay. That's a loading gate. Okay, that's fine. I can accept that. Cute, but a little bit panic-inducing. Basically, this zone was loading in while I was in there. It's a loading gate. Now here we are, entering into unknown new lands, the lands of the Black Rock. A simple 90-degree staircase, classic way to make you have to look forward to what's going up and up and up. And we are entering into another gray wood room, but at least we have this wonderful orange wooden paneling on the bottom. This elevator leads to another zone, and this leads back. Exciting stuff. So this is the reactor room again. We are now on the upper floor rather than the lower floor. And it looks like we got some dudes to kill. We'll go down into Blackrock in the next episode, or at the very end of this one. But for now, let's go ahead and see why we have the ability to be up here. What is it about the reactor that, you know, why are we here? Why did the level designers decide we should be looking up here at this reactor element? Oh, come on. Lame. Never-ending baddies. Pierce is a fantastic weapon. That's the gun I'm using. Just the best. Alright, so on this deck of... Oh! The elevator I didn't go up must not have been the elevator to Blackrock. I must have gotten it confused. That elevator must have been the main maintenance shaft elevator. Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, well in that case the reason we're here is to access the Blackrock elevator. Kind of a strange layout, making you go across the reactor room to get, you know, I mean, it pointed as that way to Blackrock, and now it's pointing across the reactor room? You think that would be, you know, a more straightforward set of elements. I really enjoy how this looks. This is one of those places where the lights come in from these light wells, and instead of flooding the place, they only appear to be, you know, moderately bright. They appear to be providing a modest amount of light. That's quite rare in this game. Usually the light wells completely blow the lighting out. If I can show you... oh, you know what? They're pretty dim down there now, too. Maybe this area is so brightly lit that our eye adaptation is making them look dim. But I also really enjoy it when you've got background elements like these cycling fans and stuff. It really helps to bring the place to life, you know? We have an extremely basic wall here. Don't go across the wall. Pretty primitive, but I think that they just wanted you to have a little bit of fun with that. Crossing over like that. Just gonna take a peek. Hey dudes. Doing okay down there? They're doing fine. Alright, so now we're gonna head over into Blackrock. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just barely touch Blackrock, because it turns out that the save game setup, if you go into a zone but then you restore save data from before you went into the zone, the game freaks out and takes a long time to fix itself. So I'm going to just go into the Blackrock area, tag it, and make sure that, you know, it knows that I've gone there, and then we will end, and I'll do a big ol' save and back up everything, and then we can have fun there. So the rest of this episode is just going to be general gallivanting, general wandering around. We got another one of these completely empty shelters. You'd think that these shelters would have been used a little bit more, but I guess nobody works in this building. Not a whole lot of loot in this room. I do really enjoy it when you are talking about elevators like this. These kinds of elevator rooms, it can be challenging to figure out how you want them to look.
Elevator's broken.
But one of the things that you can do...
Gotta get down the old-fashioned way.
One of the things you can always do is put storage around, because this kind of elevator, which is not, you know, it's a service elevator, it's an industrial elevator, that works great if there's storage around. It's just something that naturally flows. So that's what I recommend. I always recommend storage. The only thing I wish about this gun, this Pierce gun, is it let me hold the bullet for longer. it's really pretty fast on the draw. It'll like automatically fire after about 5 seconds. Oh, shoot! Oops. It's fine. I'm invincible. I won't be able to show you how you were supposed to get down here, but it wasn't anything special. I don't think. Yeah, I think you were just supposed to jump down on this. Anyway, where are we headed? Down more. I guess we're going to be jumping down on this. Yeah, so the idea here is you're supposed to follow it, and when you find a gap in the railings, you're supposed to jump down. You can jump down more aggressively. It is an open, open world environment. You can do whatever you want. But you'll probably take some fall damage if you're not careful. This kind of vertical shaft is a lot of fun to build. It can be challenging to decorate properly, because it is very repetitive if you're not careful. So you've got to make sure that the player feels like they're making progress and seeing new things. One way to do that is to vary the lighting. Like as you go down, you can turn it more red or more blue or something like that, just to make it so that the player doesn't feel like they're always in the same place. You can just change the lighting that you're using. They're not doing that here. They do it eventually. You can see down there. There's a lot of techniques you can do to try and make things more fun and more, progress more obvious. It's not always going to be about what meshes you use. It's often about how you light things. In this case, however, they've chosen a very conservative lighting system because they want to make sure that you think that red means that there are enemies immediately nearby, enemies that you can taste. They don't want you to start to associate red light with just, general badness. Now, presumably there was a way down there that wasn't quite so catastrophic, but we don't need to worry about that because I am invincible. Hey, how you doing? This is a good place for us to stop, so see you next time.